Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
In 2017, the average premium was $525 per month. For 2018, it's going to be $725 per month, which is a 38.1% increase.
The cost of health care is increasing every year. Premiums, deductibles, all going up. Why? And can anything be done about it? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. President Trump loved to criticize President Obama for all those executive actions when Congress refused to act. Now he is doing the same. Congress failed to repeal and replace Obamacare, so now President Trump is taking action on his own. ABC's Serena Marshall reports from Washington.
What Congress couldn't accomplish, President Trump trying to do on his own. Repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act with a stroke of a pen. The executive order the White House says would allow employers to form groups across state lines and buy short-term insurance policies that promote health care choice and competition.
Insurance companies will be fighting to get every single person signed up. And you will be hopefully negotiating, and you'll get such low prices for such great care.
Critics say, though, the order undermines key protections in the Affordable Care Act by creating low-cost insurance options for the healthy, driving up costs for the sick, and destabilizes the insurance marketplace even more.
The president is sabotaging health care, and we have no action in the Congress.
The trade group that represents the insurance industry in a statement saying we cannot jeopardize the stability of other markets that provide coverage for hundreds of millions of Americans. The order comes after Congress failed not once, not twice, but at least 3 times at a repeal and replace bill. The Speaker of the House says legislation is still the best option.
If you first don't succeed, try again. So we just keep telling our Senate friends, just keep at it.
The president, though, making this promise to Americans.
This will cost the United States government virtually nothing, and people will have great health care.
Consumers are unlikely to see any change from this order until at least 2019. Meanwhile, though, key senators on Capitol Hill continue their work on a bipartisan approach to stabilize the marketplace. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Healthcare is the focus of tonight, and we'll have more on that in a few minutes. The future of Sarasota's Bayfront is coming into focus. A planning firm is being hired to lead the redevelopment of 42 acres of land around the Van Wezel Performing Arts Center. A planning company out of Boston, Sasaki, will be creating a master plan on how to best use the space. The Bay property stretches from the Bayfront to Tamiami Trail, Centennial Park to the Boulevard of the Arts.
This community is a community that's built around arts and culture, and we think that it's important that arts and culture be a part of that.
Representatives from Sasaki are expected to come to Sarasota as early as December and will have a hub here for the project. The group will then have a year to create this master plan and present it to the City Commission. The investigation into the dragging of a shark that was posted on social media is wrapping up. Florida Fish and Wildlife says it is coming to a swift and lawful resolution to the case. The case gained national attention after a video of a group of Suncoast men dragging a shark on the back of their boat blew up on social media. Investigators are still compiling evidence and will be handing it over to the state's attorney's office soon. A representative with the state's attorney's office tells ABC 7 once the case has been submitted, they will decide if charges will be filed. Detectives with the Sarasota Police Department are asking for the public's help in identifying an armed robbery suspect. Last night, a man entered La Pagoda in Sarasota with a knife, threatened the clerk, and demanded money. The suspect is described as a male, mid-20s, about 6 feet tall. He has distinctive wings tattooed on the back of his neck and was last seen wearing a T-shirt that said "Crew" on the back. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 941-366-1066. tips. A Holmes Beach man is under arrest and charged with the murder and child abuse on a toddler in his care. Police responded to Peacock Lane in Holmes Beach back in August, where they found 17-month-old Luca Shorley. He was transported to the hospital in critical condition and later died. Hospital staff found Luca's injuries were consistent with child abuse and notified local law enforcement. After an investigation by Manatee Sheriff's detectives, the caregiver, David Vickers, was arrested. The last of 3 defendants slated for trial in the murder of a Bradenton couple will not face the death penalty if convicted. Jimmy McNear is charged in the murder of Cantrell Brooks and Esther Dines in July 2015. The couple's 5 children were inside the home at the time of the murders. Last month, Trey Nanambri was convicted of murder and Therese Jones pleaded guilty. McNear's trial will begin on November 1st. An update now on the Zika virus. Florida health officials are reporting the state's first case this year of Zika transmitted by a mosquito. A Manatee couple traveled to Cuba where one of them contracted Zika and was bitten by a mosquito after returning home. That mosquito then transmitted the virus to his others. Officials say there is no evidence of ongoing active transmission anywhere in Florida. House Republican leaders this week are outlining a proposal to allow students who are bullied or suffer violence to transfer to other public schools. They can also receive money to attend private schools. House Speaker Richard Corcoran announced the proposal during a news conference at the state capitol. Though a bill has not yet been filed, Corcoran says the idea is to protect students.
When an incident occurs, do we want the child to be trapped in the same school? And the answer to that, and I think everybody agrees, is no. We want to provide that child an alternative and a way to get out of the school.
Under the proposal, students and parents would report bullying and other incidents to schools after a 15-day window. They could move to other public schools or receive scholarships to attend a private school. And now for a check on the weather, let's go over to Bob.
Thank you, Ellen. We're looking at generally fair skies here. We have a few showers in the inland areas, but mainly to our south, some activity there. We'll go to the maps and show you that. A little rotation down to our south near Cuba and the Florida Straits, bringing some rainfall into the southern portion of Florida. You can see a little bit of activity in Hardee and DeSoto counties. We're going to see an increase in our rain chances, it looks like, as we approach the weekend as a result of that low pressure down to our south. Currently, we have partly cloudy skies, 84, the humidity 61%, the pressure 2992, which is known as standard pressure. The forecast through this evening, 76 by 11 o'clock, and we continue to watch an upper level low spinning to the east of the Bahamas, which is opening up really just into a line of low pressure, which will eventually bring us some of that moisture that's now over the Bahamas and South Florida. Our rain chances will be increasing, and this is the first time we've had this strong of a hurricane this far east in the Atlantic this late in the season. Yes, a new record, a Category 2 hurricane out there in the East Atlantic, and we'll have more on that in the forecast path and track, which take it very close to Ireland and England in about 4 or 5 days from now. So nothing going on near home here at this time. The 7-day forecast is calling for an increasing chance for showers and storms as we push toward the weekend, and we still stay pretty warm riding in through much of the work week next week with high temperatures into the mid-80s.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, the cost of health care is increasing. Is there anything that can be done to lower the costs? Stay with us.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Whether you're a Republican or Democrat or independent, you all need health care, and most likely you feel you pay way too much for it. But Obamacare is only partly to blame. Haley Wilgus explains.
The reason we saw a price increase in many plans when the Affordable Care Act first went into effect is because they were required to carry certain services like maternity care and mental health care. And the big one, people with pre-existing conditions. So why now are we seeing more increases? In some cases, triple-digit percentage increases. Well, it all comes down to uncertainty and lack of competition.
We were able to find information on the plans that are being released here for 2018.
J.S. Gagnon is starting to review health insurance rates for his clients for the upcoming coverage year. And once again, they're rising.
In 2017, the average premium was $525 per month. For 2018, it's going to be $725 per month, which is a 38.1% increase.
Gagnon is the CEO of ClickMyQuote.com in Sarasota. As an agent, he helps individuals, families, and small and medium-sized businesses find the right health insurance plans. He's seen major changes since Obamacare first went into effect.
When we started in 2014 writing Affordable Care Act policies, there was probably 8, 9, maybe even 10 carriers per county. So there was a lot of options, there was a lot of competition. Unfortunately now, here in Sarasota County, we're only going to have 2 carriers to choose from this year.
In some markets across the country, it's a monopoly situation.
A lot of counties in the United States have 1 carrier to choose from, so those carriers can do whatever they want.
And that usually means increasing rates substantially. But lack of competition isn't the only thing driving up the cost. There is great uncertainty for insurance companies with the healthcare gridlock in Washington.
Nobody knows what's going to happen, so the insurance companies right now are looking at this and they're saying we have no predictability as far as what to expect over the next coming years.
Gagnon says insurance companies fear the Trump administration is going to do away with cost share reduction payments. Those are currently paid by the federal government to insurance companies to make up the cost of providing subsidized plans to low and moderate income customers.
A lot of the insurance companies are saying, you know what, we're going to increase the rates a lot just to cover ourselves. The last thing we want to do is lose money, so we want to make sure we don't lose money.
So who loses are American families, especially those who don't qualify for federal subsidies. Gagnon says that applies to about 500,000 Floridians.
And when you tell a family that they have to pay $1,500 a month for a $14,000 deductible, it's not right. It's just not right.
Over the coming year, we could see more market failures where markets collapse, insurance companies pull out, and then for the unlucky people that live in that area or that state, they'll have escalating, skyrocketing costs.
Cost is the major issue, but people are also having problems getting through the system and finding the right plan. As New College of Florida political science professor Frank Alcock explains, why would the White House pump money into a program it wants to repeal?
It's almost a starvation tactic on the part of the federal government. They do not want to invest in a system including simply the websites and the navigators for helping people buy packages, healthcare plans on a market that the federal government, Trump administration, wants to get rid of.
Without the Republican votes needed, that doesn't seem imminent. So Gagnon says you might want to consider a non-qualified health plan. Even though you will have to pay the tax penalty, you still might end up on top.
In a lot of cases, the plan is so much more affordable, these are more catastrophic type plans, that the cost of that premium and the tax penalty is still less than buying health insurance through the exchange.
It's all about finding what's best for your physical and financial health. Haley Wilgus, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
We have an extraordinary panel to discuss this. Our examination in a moment at the Trapezoid.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 1-800-918-5654. Go online or visit a Target store today.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Welcome back. For many folks, Obamacare has become a punching bag for everything wrong with the healthcare system. But did you know Obamacare only accounts for healthcare coverage to 10 million Americans, while 151 million Americans get their health insurance through their employers? While increases in premiums and copays are going up in employer-based plans too, they're not going up as much as they are under the Affordable Care Act. Still, it amounts to pay cuts for millions of Americans every year as workers pay an increasing burden of their health care costs. And joining us for more is Dr. Sarah Cloud from State College of Florida, Michael Snipes, an economics instructor at USF Sarasota Manatee, Keith Fitzgerald, a political science professor at New College, and J.S. Gagnon, CEO of ClickMyQuote.com. We have a great panel here tonight because we've been reporting so much about the cost of Obamacare. We have been underreporting, I believe, what is affecting most Americans, which is our premiums in our employer-based systems, and the out-of-pocket costs go up every single year. and the question is why. And Doctor, let's start with you.
Well, our healthcare expenditures really are a combination of what our expenses are at hospitals, our doctors' offices, pharmaceuticals, and other types of healthcare services. Hospitals are pretty much the share of that. About 50% of healthcare expenditures come from hospitals. The cost of care increases for a variety of reasons. It's a pretty complex formula of why some of those costs increase. But the insurance companies is really looking at pooling the risk, making sure that within their membership that they can collect as much of the premiums as needed that they can pay out for those services across that membership. And it's always a risk for them. They always have to look at how much do they need in order to be able to pay out those health care services.
Now, there are a number of drivers, as you say. It is our general health, our population, which is getting older, but there are also the costs of hospitalization. Keith, this is something that you have been concerned about for a great many years. Why has it become so difficult politically to fix this legislatively?
I think that what our political system is worst at is allocating pain. So underneath the payment scheme, there are these costs. In the United States, costs are higher than they are in any other country. And part of the reason is we pay physicians more, we pay more for pharmaceuticals, we pay more for hospitalization. Some of that is reaped as benefits to certain people. People provide the services. The political system, if it went about trying to address directly those payments, would be saying to somebody, you're not getting as much money as you were before. If you think about the Affordable Care Act, it said we will cover the payments through insurance, but it really didn't do enough to address the drivers underneath it.
JS, when you are dealing with both families and companies and so forth, are they able to make the distinction between the problems that we're seeing with the Affordable Care Act and in the private insurance market and employer-based systems?
A lot of times no, just because it's very confusing. People just don't know. And there's a lot of issues with the healthcare system, and the individual, the healthcare.gov exchange is a completely different market than the group exchange, or the group market. So there's really, what we see right now in the state of Florida this year and in the previous years, the trend is between 11 and 13% in rate increases every single year. So if you're an employer, that's a lot.
And Michael, is there some way to talk about what kind of bite as a matter of percentage of people's income this takes out from them, just dealing with employer-based insurance from year to year to year?
Sure, and I think that's something that you definitely need to have some sort of context in a macroeconomic sense what's happening. For most people, healthcare costs are a very significant portion of their income. And when you combine that with things that are happening in the economy as a whole, more specifically kind of stagnant wages not increasing, if we've got something that is a big portion of spending for most people and that cost is going up and up and up, but there's not a corresponding increase in income, that's going to put a big bite in people.
And that's why, folks, the middle class is falling behind. We are just getting warmed up. We'll have much more on the rising cost of health care right after the break. Stay with us.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA has recently warned about an increased risk of leg and foot amputations associated with the use of certain diabetic medications such as Invokana and Invokamet. If you or a loved one took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation, ketoacidosis, kidney failure, or even death, call the Rely On Group now. We are here to help you get the justice you deserve. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-355-8205. That's 800-355-8205.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your Couch Coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Welcome back. We're talking about the rising costs of health care. Joining us for more is Dr. Sarah Cloud from State College of Florida, Michael Snipes, an economics instructor at USF Sarasota Manatee, Keith Fitzgerald, a political science professor at New College, and J.S. Gagnon, CEO of ClickMyQuote.com. And Michael, I'm going to start with you because there was an incredible quote from the chief executive at the Kaiser Family Foundation. Healthcare's greatest mystery, why healthcare insurance costs have continued their slow increase even as the economy has picked up in the last few years. We can't explain it.
Well, one of the things that we've mentioned already is risk plays a huge factor in determining exactly how much people are going to pay. If there's uncertainty as to how much revenue insurance companies are going to be getting because the plans are always changing, well, we have to compensate for that risk. Right, insurance companies are going to charge employers, they're going to charge the people who own these policies, they're going to charge them more because if there is in fact uncertainty as to how much revenue they're going to get in the future, they're going to front load that and they're going to get that money now and increase prices now because of the uncertainty.
JS, there's no doubt the cost of providing health care to your employees is going up and companies are paying more, but in many cases the companies are at least passing along some of those costs to their employees.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, what I see, and in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons for these increases every year is the healthcare industry is the only industry in the entire country where there's no price transparency. When we go to the doctor, what do? We pay a copay. We get a prescription. What do? We pay a copay. We don't know what things actually cost. Economically speaking, that causes a large amount of inflation.
And Dr. Cloud, I was mentioning to you earlier, we had a situation in my own family where my kid got sick overnight in the hospital, had to be admitted. The bill to me was about $400, but the actual cost was $14,000, and I was wondering, where did all that money go?
And that's a very good question. And even if you get an itemized bill from the hospital, you might find, like you mentioned, that there might even be inconsistencies, that if you got a similar bill for the exact same services from Miami, it might be a completely different cost. It may be a different cost for the person in the bed next to you because they had a different insurance plan that had a different negotiated price. It's very difficult to really sort that all out because we really don't have a clean, transparent place.
And Keith, when you're talking about the politics of this, those people who did not like Obamacare from the get-go are using people's anger, even if they have employer-based insurance, to basically gin up the outrage about the rise in healthcare costs.
Right, and I think it's really important for people to remember that prior to Obamacare, cost inflation in healthcare was astronomical. It was going up much faster than the underlying rate of inflation. So this is not a problem that was created by Obamacare. It's not a problem that Obamacare solved. If you did away with Obamacare or did single payer, we still have significant cost inflation in healthcare, and that has to be directly addressed through policy, not simply through figuring out who pays.
So where are we at in terms of our government taking this on? They've not been able to repeal and replace Obamacare. You've seen what the president did today. Is there any discussion you see either at the state or federal level in terms of getting costs under control?
Well, you know, there have been some experiments at the state level, so there might be a little glimmer of hope there. They haven't worked great, but Maryland has an interesting system. But really, I think this points to a fundamental flaw in our whole political system. Interest groups are so powerful in blocking changes that they don't like and taking care of their immediate self-interest that sometimes the general interest of the public simply can't be addressed. And that's not a problem of either of the parties. It's a problem of both of the parties and the whole way the system works. So we really have to start thinking about fundamental change in our attitude toward politics.
And you tell me who wants to take this on, but this Kaiser Family Survey showed that although that it has remained fairly stable, 53% of companies offering their employees health insurance, the numbers have fallen over the past 2 decades. So fewer and fewer companies are even offering this kind of benefit to employees, and I can imagine that in the years to come, this is, unless we get this under control, we're going to if we think our problem is big now, it's about to get worse.
Yeah, and I think a large part of that is they're going to view it as a cost-saving measure. If healthcare is going to be something that is so expensive to provide, then employers may simply choose to go another route, may not choose to buy it because it is so expensive.
You know, Doctor, when you look at what are the exact drivers of, at least in our area, of the increasing cost of healthcare?
I think some of the drivers are very global, including just our aging population. We had this big swell of population called the baby boomers that are now turning 65, and pretty soon they'll be 75 and so on. And with that age and advancing age, we have increased chronic diseases. I think that if we look at our population health in general, that we really are experiencing tremendous increases in chronic disease. I think that as healthy as we can be will decrease our need for health care, that we're seeing increased costs because we're sicker. We're older, there's a larger older population, and we're sicker. Increased rates of diabetes, increased depression, increased other chronic diseases. We still have 24% of our county adults that are smoking. You know,
especially
so these are some of the things that, you know, are contributing to our demand for health care.
All right, we have much more to talk about on the cost of health care. We'll be right back.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, There's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Welcome back. We're talking about the increases in healthcare costs, and joining us for more is Dr. Sarah Cloud from State College of Florida, Michael Snipes, an economics instructor at USF Sarasota Manatee, Keith Fitzgerald, a political science professor at New College, and J.S. Gagnon, CEO of ClickMyQuote.com. And J.S., let me start with you. For those people in our area who have employee-based insurance, what are you seeing right now in terms of their increasing costs over the next year or two?
I think unfortunately it's going to continue to increase. Deductibles are going to continue to increase. What we're seeing a lot of people do is take the higher deductibles, basically buy down to save money on premiums, especially for families. It can save $300 or $400 a month in premiums. By doing that, yes, you're getting a higher deductible, but we're seeing a lot of new plans coming into the market. You know, supplemental plans, critical illness plans, accident plans, gap insurance plans that they can use to cover those deductibles. Unfortunately, the state of the market has kind of forced us in that position, and that's the only way we can keep it affordable.
Keith, it almost seems like we are at a time of incredible chaos because the president took this action today, the repercussions of which we have no idea. Congress does not know what it's doing. You had the Speaker of the House saying this afternoon legislation is probably still the best way to go.
Well, you know, our political system is broken. It's just not functioning very well. And again, I emphasize you can blame it all on the Republicans because they control everything. But it's really across state and national level. It's across parties. We're just not getting things done. And I think not just insurance companies, but all businesses worry about uncertainty. Uncertainty makes it very difficult to invest. So there's going to come a point where this is going to start coming due. You know, what the political system needs to do as much as anything is come up with reliable policies that people can count on so they understand what the cost structures are.
And Michael, this is taking a bigger and bigger bite out of the incomes of many of the folks who are watching this right now. At what point does the bite overwhelm people's abilities to pay for all their mortgages and everything else that they need to pay?
Well, I think we're already seeing some of those effects. I mean, bankruptcy, or one of the primary drivers of bankruptcy, are healthcare costs, and so we're already seeing some of those effects. And if we see the trends continue, you know, with stagnant wages and increasing healthcare costs, that's something that's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
And Dr. Cloud, in terms of, you know, you're in the educational system and the medical system, you know, is there a growing view in terms of amongst your professionals in terms of what is the best way to attack the lowering of the cost of medical care and other things that would eventually drive down the cost of insurance?
Some of the changes that we've seen in healthcare reimbursement, for example, in the hospitals, which was part of the Affordable Care Act, is a shift from fee-for-service to where we would just pay for the services no matter what, to a value-based purchasing system.
Meaning what?
Meaning that for the reimbursement for Medicare, that still a large proportion of that funding is still fee-for-service. But CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, has pulled back a small percentage of that and then had the hospitals to report things like patient experience. Medicare recipients will receive a survey called an HCAP survey that assesses how well was their experience in the hospital, how well were procedures explained to them, their medications explained to them, how well was their pain controlled, how conducive was the environment to their healing. They also monitor a number of complications that can occur in the hospital. And so that value, then, if they achieve those goals, then part of that reimbursement's tied to that value. And I think we're seeing more and more of that.
Keith, we have only a couple of seconds left. The approach that we seem to be getting out of Washington now is block grants to states to kind of do your own thing. So if that is the case, is it less likely we're going to get, you know, kind of a national way of dealing with a national problem?
Well, there's a reason why we have federal funding of these programs, and that is because the tax base of states is insufficient to meet the needs of the citizens of those states, so the federal government has to come in. So if those block grants did not keep up with the rate of inflation in healthcare, people would just go without, and that's not a good deal. So I'm skeptical of that approach.
Okay, we have to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
And our guest joining us right now for final thoughts. And JS, we are in the season of open enrollment, and people are going to get sticker shock, whether they are in the employer-based market or on Obamacare. What are you telling them?
Well, I've probably gotten about 30 or 40 emails or texts today of people panicking about the rate increases that they're seeing. And at this point, I'm telling them, listen, you know, November 1st is the start of open enrollment. You know, whether you're on the Affordable Care Act through Obamacare or an employer, a lot of employers renew on January 1st. So, you know, we've got some time. We've got some time to strategize. We've got time to look at all the options. At the end of the day, it's wrong. It's hard to tell my clients that they could be facing a $2,000 a month premium. It's not right. And we need to help them. We need to educate them. And we need to, you know, make sure that we provide them with everything, all the resources they need to make the best decisions for their families.
And Keith, do you have any hope that the Senate or there's any bipartisan effort going on? I know there is, that it will get anywhere.
Well, I think there may be some hope that there would be bipartisan agreement on some of the stopgap measures to shore up the insurance market. But as far as the big picture, I don't see it happening. And one of the things people should think about is that if you're concerned about the possibility of single payer, if you think that's a bad idea, the longer we don't respond to these cost drivers and this whole mess, the more people are going to be pushing for that as a solution, because it's simple, it's straightforward, and people understand it.
And Michael, what are the consequences to the U.S. economy if we don't figure this out?
Sure. I think if we see a lot of the trends continue the way they are, and if none of the issues really get addressed in a meaningful way, healthcare is such a huge part of the economy that it could put a big enough strain on the economy as a whole that we might see recessions occurring, we might see depressions occurring.
And Dr. Klatt, what impact does this have on medical professionals like nurses and doctors in terms of their ability to make a living in this system now and in the future?
I think that's a very good question, and I think particularly for nurses and other health professionals that are mid-level and frontline, they also have to pay insurance. They have to also pay the premiums for themselves and for their families. And it'll make it difficult for us to recruit those professionals for our community, which would further impact our population's health.
Okay, we have to wrap up there, but before we go, we want to share with you some thoughts about last night's topic, the disease killing palm trees in the Sunshine State. The disease is called the Texas Phoenix Palm Decline. It was first identified in trees in Sarasota and Tampa in 2006. The disease spreads naturally to trees by sap-feeding insects like plant hoppers. If trees show a majority of discolored or dead leaves because of the disease, they need to be removed to prevent spreading. Landscapers can protect these trees with antibiotic injections, but the price can be as much as $800. Now let's hear from some of you on what you thought of this topic. Mary says, I love the palms when I come to Florida every year. Would hate to see them all die. Treat them to save them. Christina says, save them. Everyone should be responsible for the trees unless it's city property. And Jana says, when you think of Florida, you think of sandy beaches and palm trees. So yes, they should absolutely try and save as many as possible. It's part of Florida's identity. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions. They're on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And we want to stay up to date on our local news. We're proud to announce our new ABC7 My Suncoast News app. If you have an iPhone or an iPad and you currently have our news app, you'll want to go to the App Store now and download WWSB ABC7 Tampa My Suncoast. It's free and it provides the most comprehensive news coverage for Sarasota, Manatee, Charlotte, Hardee, and DeSoto counties. If you're an Android user, don't worry, no problems. You'll get the new version automatically. We want to thank our guest tonight, Dr. Sarah Cloud from State College of Florida, Michael Snipes, an economics instructor at USF Sarasota Manatee, Keith Fitzgerald, a political science professor at New College, and J.S. Gagnon, CEO of ClickMyQuote.com. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather. Plus, President Trump is in another Twitter feud with the mayor of Puerto Rico. Why? We'll tell you after the break.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Our accredited staff will handle all of the Medicare paperwork for free, and best of all, your brace is shipped directly to your home for free. Don't let chronic lower back pain slow you down. Get moving and stay active with a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost. We also accept Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, and other insurance. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare? Find out for free.
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-715-0835. That's 1-800-715-0835, 1-800-715-0835.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. Right now we're looking at the sunset tonight. Casey Key, actually this is now Sarasota Bay. It was Casey Key earlier. This is showing a beautiful pink sky as the sun has set just after 7 o'clock tonight. And you can see some clouds around. Not much rainfall here, but that will change as a result of a low pressure area that continues to spin from the Bahamas over Cuba and the Florida Straits. It's heading to the west right now. It will bring us an increased moisture availability throughout the day tomorrow and continue through the weekend. There are a few showers scattered around parts of west central Florida, but not a lot of rainfall, and we are not anticipating much rain overnight. 84 degrees right now. Dew point is at 69. That's comfortable. Winds out of the east-northeast at 12, and the pressure at standard pressure now 29.92 inches and a few clouds. Well, the high today was above average as it has been all week long, 89, and the average high is at 86. Now the record 94 set back in 1959. This morning's low is right around where it's supposed to be at 70, and no rainfall to report so far for October. It's been pretty dry. We're 1.40 inches below average for rainfall in October, but we have had enough this year already, well above 61 inches of rain. Well, tomorrow, Friday the 13th, I might add, we're going to see showers and storms scattered around in the afternoon and evening. Some of those could produce some moderate rainfall at times and an occasional lightning strike. Looks like it will get out of here in time for football Friday night in most areas, but I still think there'll be a few lingering up until around 8, 9 o'clock. So that could be an issue again tomorrow, as it seems like it has been all season long. Well, Futurecast is showing that activity around tomorrow afternoon and evening, pushing off toward the west. It looks as though there won't be much of a sea breeze developing, so we won't get that convergence set up, which allows more storms to fire up along that front, but they'll still be around. And then Saturday, expect that moisture to be in play once again in the afternoon and evening. Showers become more numerous later on in the day. On Saturday and Sunday, the rain chance fairly high over the weekend. Out in the Atlantic, this is a pretty incredible storm for so far east and north latitude. We are looking at this storm now as a Category 2 hurricane, and it's actually looking a little better organized just in the last couple of frames here in the last hour or two as it makes its way off to the northeast eventually. Top winds now at 100 miles an hour, making this a Category 2 hurricane, a strong one at that, and is expected to move off to the east and then more northerly in time. And it could become a real big deal for places like Ireland and England early next week with winds up to 75 miles an hour. And it won't be a tropical system by then because it will be converted to just a low pressure area, but boy, a significant low too, causing all sorts of headaches there. Well, water temperatures are the driving force behind these storms, and they are still warm in the western Caribbean Sea. So although we have a month and a couple of weeks before the official end, we have to keep an eye out for this area. This is where they tend to develop, not so much in the Atlantic, but as we learned with Ophelia, it's still a potential out there as well. Well, there is a frontal boundary located to our north. It is a stationary front. It stretches all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, but it's going to fade away, and there will be another cold front which will try to get down next week. It's not going to have much success at this point, but next week, I think the week following that, we'll start to see some of this fall-like air move down in our region. Right now, 59 in Chicago, 66 in Cleveland, and 56 in Detroit. Forecast for boaters tomorrow, moderate chop on the bays and inland water, seas running 2 to 3 feet, and the water temperature at 84 degrees. UV index will be an 8 tomorrow. And the tides are coming on your screen. The next high tide will be at 9:52, sunrise at 7:29. Partly cloudy, some patchy fog, 75 for your low tomorrow. Expect some sunshine in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon with a good chance for scattered showers and storms. Highs will be into the upper 80s, so a little bit above average, and the extended forecast is calling for a better chance for rain as we push toward the weekend. Even next week, it's at 40%. And we'll be right back after this. Stick around.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Funerals can be emotionally devastating for a family to go through. Besides the sorrow, loved ones are left with the decisions and the high costs of arranging a funeral. That's why Funeral Advantage was formed. They've helped thousands of people between the ages of 40 and 85 protect their families when they need it most. It pays your loved ones up to $20,000 cash immediately.
It's a good feeling to know that my family will be taken care of if anything happens to me.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions.
Funeral expenses continue to rise and can easily cost $9,000 or more, but the most government benefits pay is only $255, leaving your loved ones the financial burden to pay the rest.
This is so affordable, even for someone like me who's on a fixed income.
If you're between 40 and 85, get your free Funeral Advantage Guide. Help keep your family financially protected with up to $20,000 cash immediately. Call the toll-free number on your screen to get your free information guide. Funeral Advantage is something we'll all need. There's no risk or obligation. Don't put it off. Call now.
Call 1-800-897-0900 now to get your free planning guide. Get the facts about how easy it is to protect your family. Call 1-800-897-0900. Don't wait. Call now.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Watch your Suncoast News at 6 on your streaming device for a chance to win a $50 Visa. It's easy. Just watch weekdays at 6 for the word of the week. Then enter the word at mysuncoast.com for your shot at a $50 Visa. We'll pick the winner each week. Good luck.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump visited Puerto Rico last week to assess the damage. He pled to help the U.S. territory with the resources it needs to rebuild. But what a difference a week makes. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
President Trump this morning suggesting the clock is ticking on the federal government's help for Puerto Rico. President Trump facing criticism for a series of tweets this morning, writing, "We cannot keep FEMA, the military, and the first responders in PR forever." The president also seemed to be deflecting responsibility from his administration and blaming Puerto Rican officials, writing, "Electric and all infrastructure was disaster before hurricanes. Congress to decide how much to spend." The backlash to his tweets was swift. Critics saying the president was threatening to abandon American citizens after saying this less than a week ago.
We will not rest until that job is done. Puerto Rico has a long road of recovery ahead, very long road.
There is a real crisis in Puerto Rico. 83% of customers still without power. 1/3 still don't have access to drinkable water. But President Trump's public statements and actions regarding Puerto Rico have raised eyebrows, tossing paper towel rolls to storm victims like basketballs, telling officials there the storm has thrown the federal budget a little out of whack, suggesting Maria wasn't a real catastrophe like Katrina because the death toll was so much lower. And of course, that public feud with the mayor of San Juan. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly says the president's tweets are correct. FEMA and the U.S. military will not be in Puerto Rico forever, and the goal will be to have local officials in charge of rebuilding there. But it's worth noting that after Hurricane Katrina, FEMA had some presence in New Orleans for a decade. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
New York police are investigating allegations of sex crimes against embattled film producer Harvey Weinstein. Accusations of rape against Weinstein were outlined in a recent New Yorker article. A law enforcement source says NYPD investigators are trying to locate and interview victims referred to in the article. One of Weinstein's accusers says in 2004 he forced her to perform a sex act in his New York office. Investigators also want to talk to Ronan Farrow, who wrote the article. They want him to identify an unnamed accuser interviewed in the piece. A spokeswoman for Weinstein says he believes his relationships with his accusers were consensual. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.